Well, thank you, Kim, for joining us today and telling us all about ROI. And I'll hand it right over to you.
Okay, thank you, Deborah. My name is Kim Zertuche, and I am the Customer Development Director at ROI. And thank you for joining my session for Sage 100 integration powered by IN-SYNCH. I'd like to thank Chortek for the opportunity to join the user conference. And thank you to everyone that's taking time out of their busy day to listen to all the sessions and learn more about the options available for Sage 100. As they mentioned earlier at the lunch session, the name of the game today is automation. So we will continue that theme and talk a little bit more about automation. So IN-SYNCH is from our company, ROI, and I wanted to take a minute just to give you a little bit of background about ROI. We are a market leader in Sage 100 integration. We've been in business for 25 plus years. We're getting ready to hit 26 years in December. So we have a very strong knowledge base in Sage 100. And we've done well over 1,000 implementations. And we are a trusted partner in the Sage community, such as Chortek inviting us to this conference. And we have a wide breadth of solutions and great references and case studies. So what do? We automate processes for Sage 100 customers. One critical differentiator in working with ROI that you may not find with another vendor is that we can deliver automation of your established and working Sage 100 processes. There's no need to change your process. Other vendors may not have the in-depth knowledge of Sage 100, or they might have a rigid solution that's designed to be a one-size-fits-all. But we configure our solution to your business needs, meaning that you don't have to give up a working process in order to achieve automation. You don't need to settle with a compromise when ROI can deliver what you need. So we are featured on the Sage Marketplace. As I mentioned, we're a Sage tech partner. Our principal, Bob Richter, has been a Sage master developer since 1992. And in order to be on the Sage Marketplace, your solution has to undergo rigorous testing by a third party to be able to be certified by Sage. So we're very proud to be featured on the marketplace. So we find that many of our customers that we help are saddled with manual processes. This slide shows examples of many of the pains that businesses can experience when they have a lot of these manual processes. These tasks can snowball and affect the finance department who manages the ERP. And if there is a new solution implemented in another department, that can be a definite opportunity for integration. So let's go through some of these pains. First one, managing heavy incoming order flow. Perhaps your marketing department has launched a new website, or they've decided to start selling on Amazon or eBay. And all of a sudden, the SEO is working, orders are coming in, fantastic, but now you have this large flow of orders that you're needing to deal with. And we all know that manual data entry can be very time-consuming and error-prone. And also, you know, in this day with Amazon, everybody's expecting their packages to be shipped promptly. They want self-service to get their tracking numbers and receive notifications about their shipment. So they need those timely notifications with the tracking information. Stock status updates are very important. There's a variety of ways to automate. Perhaps you're not manually entering orders. Maybe you have a VI job once a night to bring in orders. But if you're bringing those orders in only once a night, then your inventory is not real time. It's only updated as of the last time that you did that VI import. So you could be overselling products on your website if you don't have real-time inventory connected. Another pain that we see customers struggling with is price changes, or wanting on a B2B functionality, wanting to offer their client their customer specific pricing that you have set up in Sage. But how do you get all of that depth and breadth of pricing information that's stored in Sage over to your website? We also have customers that want to provide a portal experience for their customers to allow them to see open invoices, open sales orders, maybe from other sources besides their website. Maybe they phone in orders or fax and email still, but they want their client to be able to see the complete order history that's in Sage. We can help accomplish that goal of showing your customers all of the order history. And maybe you have some customers that want to do business with you, but they'll only do business if you can do it in an automated format. Maybe they are too small for EDI and you don't want to make that investment in EDI, but yet they don't want to go to the website and place orders. Maybe they want to provide you a file and you need to automate that in some way. So finding a solution can be a pain, right? You want to find a solution that's cost effective and easy to use, that's flexible to meet your specific needs, something that's able to be changed quickly and easily as your business processes change. And you want, maybe most importantly, to have it handle the details of your ERP. Because if you're not handling the details, if you're getting a vanilla integration, you may only be getting 80 to 90% of what you need. You know, other vendors can supply standard orders, tracking, and inventory quantities. But what about the details of your specific processes? We can help with importing cash receipts or automating returns. Anything that can happen in Sage 100, we can help automate and provide that data to the third-party platform. And of course, you want it to be scalable for future growth. So our IN-SYNCH module provides you the opportunity to look no further. We can automate manual processes in Sage with real-time synchronization. We can be very flexible and customizable so that we can achieve high-end and complex integrations. The solution is highly secure and efficient in its data transfers. High volume is no issue. And as I've mentioned, we can support multiple platforms such as e-commerce, marketplaces, 3PLs, credit cards, and more. So after we install the IN-SYNCH module into your client site and we connect Sage to a database to allow that secure connection to the Sage data, we have 6 primary configurations that we use for our projects. Once we meet with you, we can help you guide you to which tool or method would work best for your needs. And it can also be even a hybrid of more than one method. So 4 of the 6 methods fall under what we call turnkey options. We refer to these projects as turnkey because ROI performs all aspects of the development and implementation. We have many pre-built connectors for the popular platforms that we see Sage customers using, some of which are shown on the right-hand side of the slide, such as Amazon, eBay, website shopping carts, but we're not limited to those. There's many more on our website that we integrate with than what we've shown here. And we basically like to say that we can integrate with anything as long as it has an electronic way for us to get and pass the data. But the benefits of working with pre-built connectors are that they're repetitive and a turnkey implementation. We're familiar with the capabilities of the APIs for these solutions, and we can advise and guide you regarding a selection based on your needs. Perfect example of that is Shopify. Shopify doesn't allow for credit card tokenization. So if you're using one of the credit card processors that has presented today, Repay or Paya, if you're using one of the other website platforms besides Shopify, like either Adobe, BigCommerce, or WooCommerce, they can accomplish credit card tokenization, where you can pass that credit card information from the website into Sage 100 and complete your credit card process within Sage 100. But Shopify doesn't allow that. So we've had that conversation with many customers, and that's helped them select which platform that they may want to use. Most of our turnkey projects are fixed fee, and most of it is one-time charges. We do have some annual charges, but there's no monthly charge, and most importantly, no data charges. Some of the other implementation vendors that do automation, they will charge you in a SaaS model, so they're charging monthly, and they charge by transaction. So as your volume grows, your pricing is going to increase. And of course, we can do a complex integration when required. We can have unlimited databases and unlimited shopping carts. You can have as many implementations as you need. Then our second is custom connectors. So if you need to connect to a system out there that has an API for us to communicate with that's not one of our already developed turnkey solutions, we can build a custom connector. The third option there is flat file or CSVs for import and export. That would be an example of if a company came to you and said, we want to do business with you, but we want to submit our orders to you in this file format. We can then automate this by posting that CSV up into an FTP site, and then IN-SYNCH will go out to the FTP site, download that CSV, and import the orders into Sage 100. And then lastly, our intercompany processing. Intercompany processing is a unique scenario that can create a lot of work that ROI can automate. When intercompany transactions are needed, due to a large amount of transactions that need to happen, many customers start to cut corners, and they only enter the bare minimum of data, because in this scenario, we have company A that's receiving orders, and company B within Sage is fulfilling the orders. And you can imagine the extensive data that needs to flow back and forth with each sales order needs to create a PO. Each PO then needs to be received and do your receipt of goods, and then go back and invoice the sales order. And that whole process can be very extensive. But if you automate, then you can have as many steps as you need to correctly reflect the transactions within Sage 100. We have a client example that is an established distribution company that procures IT hardware and consumer electronics for resale, like routers, laptops, VoIP devices, etc. And they do business with many vendors for procurement, and then they sell the products. So therefore, they need a lot of integrations. They have an omni-channel through Sales Advisor and Amazon to sell through a multitude of marketplaces. And they have connections with Teledynamics, Ingram Micro, and others for procurement. In their situation, they have two companies set up in Sage 100, where the parent company A fulfills products that the sister company B sells. And it got so that the task of entering all the transactions from company A to company B became overwhelming, and this was relieved with the intercompany automation. So out of the 6 options, our last 2 are what we call our developer-assisted options. And we offer these 2 options for clients that have the access to their own development teams. And they want those teams to participate in developing the integration. This provides an alternative to allow the developers more control over the project, but the developer doesn't need to have an in-depth knowledge of Sage 100 because our experienced developers are going to provide guidance and best practices. And the solutions, again, can be very scalable. The first option here is where a developer creates a connection between the third-party solution and a Microsoft SQL database that they host. ROI will provide the file structure and connects Sage 100 to the database and populates the relevant Sage data, and the IN-SYNCH application will monitor the database and move data bidirectionally from the database to Sage 100 and back. This option allows the developers full control of the integration. That is where our company started originally, was offering these developer-assisted options before we got into the turnkey options. And then our last option is a relatively new option that we've had for about the last 2 years, which is our connector API that allows developers to connect via a standard API protocol to talk to our connector platform's data service. We provide a standardized Swagger doc and provide guidance from our development team. So this option is basically the opposite of our website integrations. In the website integrations, our connector is communicating with the website's API. But in this scenario, it's turned upside down, and the third-party platform, like maybe Salesforce or HubSpot, because this is very popular to use with CRM applications, and that third-party platform reaches out and communicates with our RESTful API endpoints. Here's a sample of some of the API endpoints that we have. They can post a sales order, they can post a customer or get a customer. So you can think of the Salesforce example, that if you have your sales reps working in Salesforce, but they need all that customer data, they need all that order history data that's stored inside Sage 100, your Salesforce developer can make the connection utilizing these endpoints to get that data from Sage into Salesforce. We recently did a large project with a customer that used all of these endpoints, and they also needed us to develop an RMA endpoint to work with Sage 100's RMA module. So again, due to our breadth of knowledge with Sage 100, that was not an issue, and we were able to develop the endpoint for RMAs. The goal of this type of solution is to help deliver Sage integration to as many users as possible by expanding the development resources to include the users' developers. That allows ROI to scale and help more customers. And it allows ROI to be the expert on the Sage integration, but the platform developer to be the expert on the platform. Because there's so many CRMs out there, it would be very difficult for us to learn each and every CRM solution. So this allows each party to be the expert. So as we've discussed, one of the critical differentiators working with us is that we can deliver automation to match your current process. Our solution's flexible and it's not out of the box. We have a wide variety of tools, methods, and expertise that can enable us to provide flexible solutions and not one size fits all. Our data handling is optimized. For example, if you have hundreds of thousands of inventory items, and if you are trying to refresh the entire catalog to the website each and every time, that can bog down your site with too much information. The way our IN-SYNCH module works is it parses out and only sends the incremental changes each time. So that allows for very fast processing and accounts for the high volume and makes it so that high volume is not an issue. And we've also paid close attention to security measures. The way our solution is architected, no programs have access into Sage 100. Only the data service that we set up. So, and incorrect data won't even come in because our solution does not go around the Sage business objects. So as an order is coming in from the website, it has to meet all of the requirements that Sage puts in place for creating a sales order. And there's a wide amount of scalability available with our solution. And we can handle simple all the way up to very complex. So you might wonder why you should work with ROI. Well, like we've said, we've been in business for 25 years, and we're trusted by Sage partners such as Chortek. An engineer is involved to define your project. So from the very beginning, you're going to be speaking to an engineer. So you don't have a salesperson that's over-promising what the solution can accomplish. We act as an extension of your partner team. And we've been doing this for a long time, so you'll benefit from our experience with Sage and our experience with the various e-com platforms and marketplaces. Our solutions are strong and a good value and require limited amount of support. We don't charge monthly fees or transaction fees, and we have happy, referenceable customers. So speaking of a happy customer, let's take a look at one. Custom Service Hardware, or CSH, is a Chortek client that's really utilized ROI's automations to eliminate the chokehold that this passing of large amounts of data can cause. CSH sells exceptional hardware, building, and woodworking supplies to customers worldwide, and they offer over 50,000 products through their e-commerce sites. And their reliable real-time approach has helped them build great customer relationships. They became a client of ours in 2016. They started out with their website and Amazon. And then in 2017, they added Walmart and eBay. And then they added HubSoft in 2021. And they're a great example of how you can start with one platform and expand over time. When preparing for this, I asked CSH what had been the greatest benefit of using ROI's solutions. And first and foremost, they said it saves them time and labor. On average, they process 80 to 100 orders per day. They have calculated that that saves them about 4 hours each day. The only time they touch the order is to print it and then pack it and ship it. The tracking numbers they put into, I don't have it on the slide here, but they use Starship, and then Starship will put the tracking numbers into invoice data entry. We take those tracking numbers when the batch is updated and automatically send them out to the various platforms, and the orders are closed out and the customers are notified. Also, as the sales orders come into Sage, the inventory quantities are then updated as orders are taking away the available inventory. And then that inventory quantity that is fed back to the sites. And that way they can make sure that they're never oversold on a product. They also cited that it helps even out the workload. If you take Amazon, for example, they may receive 250 to 300 orders on a Monday from customers shopping over the weekend. And as some people might know, Amazon only gives the vendors 24 hours to process and close out those orders. So having automation allows them to achieve the requirements of Amazon and prevents any financial hits to their company. And they simply would not be able to process the volume in 24 hours without automation. They've also found our solution to be cost effective. It saves them time, and as they say, time is money. Also, with their website orders, they have credit card tokenization that we talked about earlier, which brings over their credit card information from the website into Sage. And midstream, they decided that they wanted to change credit card processors, and that's no issue. They just reached out to ROI. We scheduled the switch and completed the switch out for them to the new processor. And then with their most recent addition of HubSoft, that integration has allowed their salespeople to work in the CRM and not have the need to access Sage 100, which saves them Sage user licenses. So now that we've talked about what we can do and the customers using our solution, I thought it might be nice to look at how our process works. So the steps to engage with ROI, if you're interested in looking at a project, is we would start with a discovery call. You'd reach out to Chortek, they would reach out to us, and we would set up a discovery. And that can be one call, or it can proceed over a couple phone calls if we need some follow-up information. During that discovery call, we're going to ask those detailed questions that I talked about so that we can give you a configured and customized solution to your business process. Then we will document that into a scope of work and provide a proposal. You'll consider the proposal, and if it makes sense for your company and you want to move forward, you sign off on the proposal. We will go into an onboarding stage. During that onboarding stage, we would provide you a questionnaire where you would confirm some of the items, like the customer that we're going to bring the orders into, the warehouses, sales tax codes, etc. And then we would move into the second part of onboarding, where we install our module. We set up the database. We do the mapping of the module to the database. And we gain access to the platform, whether that be the back end of the website or your Amazon account, etc. Then the project gets assigned to an engineer, and they'll begin implementation and internal testing. Once they're happy with the internal testing, then they will turn it over to you for user acceptance testing. Then we go through that cycle of implementation and testing and repeat it as many times as needed for each additional touch point on the proposal. So you're involved during the process, and we're doing all of this in a stage test company so that you're not concerned about it affecting any of your current Sage data. Then when everything is tested and you feel confident, we'll have a go live conversation and bring your project live. And then we would ask, what would you like next? It could be a second phase of a project. A lot of our customers will split things into phases so that they're not trying to bite off the whole project at once. And there's no additional cost for doing something all at once or doing it in a later phase. If it's going to take 10 to 20 hours to do it now, it'll take 10 to 20 hours to do it 6 months from now. So phases allows you to eliminate some of the initial pain, understand the process, and then add on as you go. Or in some cases, when you're launching a large B2B portal, maybe that's a replacement for another system that you've had in the past, you need everything working all at once before you can transition off of your old solution. So maybe phases won't work for you. All right, so I'm wondering, if any of you are facing some of the challenges that we discussed today. And if you're searching for a solution that can help you achieve the benefits that CSH has realized, please reach out to Chortek and they'll put us in contact and schedule a discovery call. I wanted to point out, if you want to see our solution in action, you can go to our website, roi-consulting.com, and we have a BigCommerce, on our BigCommerce page, we have a 9-minute YouTube demo that's available to show you how the website integration works. And although you may not be considering BigCommerce, it's still a good illustration of how a website integration works with IN-SYNCH, regardless of the platform. So with that, I want to open up and see if anybody has any questions or comments.
I do want to mention that we do have a link to your website too from the Chortek webpage, if that helps.
Fantastic.
Make it any easier. Yeah.
Thank you, Deborah.
And if anyone does have questions, you can go ahead and contact me directly. It's dscheider@chortek.com or your account manager. Or you can even send a note to support that you would like to further investigate the ROI product. And we will set up an absolutely free consultation, a demo, answer any questions you may have. So with that, I'd really like to thank you, Kim. That was a very fantastic presentation. And I do know that CSH is extremely happy with what you have set up for them. So that's
Thank you.
A wonderful testimonial.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and with that, we can go